Now, moving on to other news now, the N3 Toll Concession has expressed grave concern about the severity of crashes on this route between Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. It also raised concern about the number of people who have died in single-vehicle crashes since the start of the festive season last week. The N3 TC transport engineer, Miles Roux, says initial reports indicate that people are regularly exceeding speed limits along most parts of the route. To discuss this further, we are now joined on the line by N3 Toll Concession Operations Manager, Thania Dhoogra. Thania, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to The Full View.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having us.
Now, the N3 Toll Concession has expressed concern about the alarming number of serious crashes on roads between Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal since the start of the festive season. What could this be attributed to, Thania?
Well, historically, what we've seen is that the majority of incidents are attributed to human error and vehicle failure. But primarily that's due to reckless or negligent driving whilst under the influence, or being distracted while driving, for example, using your cell phone and texting.
Well, more than 2,000 vehicles an hour are expected on the N3 between Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal during peak periods from Wednesday. Well, we're actually seeing that number of vehicles, moving along that route. This is almost double the figure reported since we last spoke to you a few days ago. Is law enforcement better prepared to take care of this influx of traffic?
Definitely, law enforcement is highly visible on the route, and they're doing everything in their power to ensure that road users are compliant, that they are following the rules of the road, particularly adhering to the speed limits. But of course, there's a lot of congestion and a lot of traffic on the road, and a lot of this is the responsibility of the road user themselves to ensure that they are compliant.
Most motorists, Thania, have complained of the lack of visibility of traffic signs with regards to advising them of what the speed limit is, and they only see traffic officers stopping them along the route with them oblivious of the traffic speed. Is this what we're seeing on the roads?
No, I have to disagree. I think that, we all know that in general, the speed limit on a national highway is either 120 kilometers an hour or 100 kilometers an hour where it's signposted. Law enforcement officers tend to pull over people who are exceeding the speed limit, and that's been our experience.
Is this a peak, or are we expecting more traffic, or should we expect traffic volumes to dip, assuming that it's Christmas tomorrow and people are already at their final destinations?
Well, we are still seeing that traffic volumes are between 750 vehicles an hour and 1,000 vehicles an hour at the moment on the route, and that's in both directions. But we are also seeing that has started decreasing. We hit highs of 1,600 vehicles an hour earlier during the day. Our expectation is that the traffic will die down tomorrow and Sunday, and should increase again on Monday, typically in a northbound direction.
Okay, now the N3TC recommends road users rather travel during the day than at night. Isn't it safer to travel at night, seeing the reduced risk of accidents and less traffic? No,
there's obviously the added pressure when driving at night that visibility is reduced, and that makes it extremely difficult for a lot of people to concentrate and to remain vigilant and alert. And also, while statistics do show that we have a greater number of incidents happening during daylight hours, the severity of nighttime incidents is a lot higher.
And then are the emergency personnel on standby, seeing the increased number of fatalities or the number of crashes along the N3?
Absolutely. All services are on standby. They're all, like I said, highly visible. That's emergency services, N3TC's own route services. We're patrolling the highway multiple times a day on the lookout for anything that could potentially contribute to an unsafe condition for a road user.
All right, Thania, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for that update. That was